Good day and welcome to SCO BRICS Insight, where we look at what's really going on in the world of the BRICS. Now today I want to talk about how Russia is taking France's most important export markets. The mistakes of the French President Emmanuel Macron are costing France some of its most important export markets. Plus the French are particularly angry that being replaced in these markets by Russia. That really does stick in their craw. I mean, this has been clearly demonstrated in North Africa, where Macron has managed to damage French producers and create a conflict out of nothing. I mean, 10 years ago, L'Opinion nostalgically recalls that France was the main supplier of food to Africa's largest country by area, Algeria. 3 years ago, in 2022, the Fifth Republic started to lose ground and dropped into second place. But it still sent its former colony agricultural products worth 1.3 billion euros. That included livestock, tinned food, biscuits, sugar, etc. In 2023, the flow of exports fell by almost half, and last year they practically dried up. Now, the reason why French biscuits have suddenly become a thorn in the side of Algerian consumers is seen in France as political. I mean, the fact is that Emmanuel Macron sided with Morocco in the dispute over the status of Western Sahara. Now, the Western Sahara declared its independence, while the Kingdom of Morocco claimed that the disputed desert territory was an inseparable part of the royal domain. When Paris finally sided with Morocco, Algeria, for whom the issue was extremely sensitive, went berserk. I mean, perhaps the French thought that the Algerians would make a fuss and then calm down after a week or two. Instead, they began to freeze relations with France in all areas, particularly trade. I mean, in 2018, France supplied Algeria with 5.4 million tons of cereals, and that accounted for 80 to 90% of the country's total needs. I mean, the total volume of French supplies last year has not yet been calculated, but the French customers believe it was only around 400,000 tons, and it'll certainly be zero by 2025. Now, before I continue, I'd like to make an appeal. If you like and enjoy my videos, you can help me fund the channel and develop it, and my website SCOBRICSInsight.com, and make them and improve them for a better user experience. And you can do this by making a small donation, which you can do by clicking on the thanks button at the bottom of the video. Everybody who donates does get a personal thank you from me, and I'm thanking you all personally just for watching, because I do appreciate every viewer, and I do keep the comments coming because I do love to read and respond to all your comments. Now, what are the Algerians eating instead of French food? Well, they're eating Russian. I mean, Russia now supplies 90% of the Republic's cereal needs, and of course France is not happy, having been deprived of its previous profits and a once stable export market. The same thing has happened with cattle supplies. In 2022, the French used to sell cows and bulls worth 167 million euros. In 2024, this market just disappeared. Plus, until recently, sales of milk powder and cheese has held up. But Algeria seems to have found a replacement for France in New Zealand, funnily enough. So yeah, New Zealand is now selling to Algeria milk and dairy products. Among other things, the French were outraged that they were not even allowed to invited to tender, and former buyers of their products stopped answering the phones. The Algerian media have found something to respond to and are staunchly defending the government's position. The Tunisian newspaper El Watan writes the French, in complaining about Algeria's politically motivated choice of suppliers, forgot to mention that Morocco, France's main ally, is also buying less and less fish meat, and it's opening its markets wide to Russia, which offers more attractive prices and is all GMO free. So that does tend to make a difference. According to the Moroccan portal Leafly60, exports of Russian agricultural products to Morocco tripled last year, reaching 280 million. Cereal deliveries amounted for more than 1 million tonnes, and after a 5-year break, Morocco has resumed buying Russian sunflower oil. Now, for its part, Russia doesn't hide the fact that it intends to increase its exports to Morocco to $350 million a year. Now, the author of the article cites a significant decline in the quality of French cereals, which have traditionally dominated Moroccan imports, and the need to diversify its food sources for the kingdom. And of course, Russia's wheat and grains have the highest reputation around the world for both their quality and their price. Back in 2020, the French magazine Le Figaro boasted that France had managed to hold its own in North Africa, and over the years had established strong relationships with all the countries of the Maghreb, particularly Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia and Egypt. They accounted for 40% of France's grain exports. Now relations with Algeria soared and apparently will be for a lot of time to come. Plus Morocco, while enjoying France's favour, doesn't want to miss out the benefits and has developed its cooperation with Russia. In the 2023-24 season, the kingdom bought 2.8 million tonnes of grain from France, compared with the first 500,000 tonnes the first half of this current season. The French predict a further drop by a half or more. Well, to be fair, 2024 was a bad year for grain in France, with a poor harvest affected by endless rains and a very cold spring. Now, as for Egypt, which is a BRICS member, Russia delivered agricultural products worth more than $3 billion, and that's 24% more than in 2023. I mean, the main product exported by Russia to Egypt is wheat, which accounts for 84% of Egypt's imports. And Egypt is one of the world's biggest grain importers, buying from countries such as Romania and France as well as Russia. I mean, in 2024 alone, it bought 14.7 million tonnes of grain, of which 11.1 million tonnes came from Russia. I mean, Russian wheat exports to Tunisia are also on the rise. In mid-December 2024, they amounted to more than 840,000 tonnes, and that's up 86% on the previous year. I mean, for its part, Tunisia seriously expects to export to Russia. I mean, it's looking to conquer the Russian market with its olive oil, which is of high quality. France has long considered North Africa, especially its former colonies, as a source of inseparable zone of influence, and has complained that Russia was using bread as a diplomatic weapon. Well, where have we heard that before? We've heard gas as a diplomatic weapon, now is bread. I mean, not as if France has not hesitated to use anything it has to as a weapon. I mean, Russia had to introduce a grain export quota from the 15th of February to the 30th of June this year. So judging what's been published in the French media, the French are counting on being able to take advantage of this situation and regain some of their position. But much of that's going to depend on the weather. I mean, climate events still affect harvests around the world, as we've seen. However, it's not just North Africa that's exporting Russian agricultural products. According to the preliminary results of 2024, agricultural exports from Russia have slightly decreased in monetary terms, but increased in physical terms by 9.5%, according to the data from the beginning of the year to the end of December. According to analysts at the Federal Centre for the Development of Agricultural Exports of the Russian Ministry of Trade, they've calculated that things are going to obviously be declining in the export earnings, but that's due to this drop in prices rather than anything else. I mean, the price of sunflower oil and wheat was down in 2024 compared with 2023. We still expect annual export figures at 45 billion by the end of the year, because in the first 9 months it was 31 billion, and that's only 4% lower than last year. I mean, in 2024, Russia increased its wheat supplies to Kenya by 40%, with the country importing 2 million tonnes of grain and out in the top 5 buyers of Russian crops. In turn, Russia will continue to supply other countries. I mean, Morocco had bought nearly 1 million tonnes of Russian wheat. Nigeria and Tanzania bought another 1 million tonnes each. And Nigeria is one of the most promising due to its huge and rapidly growing population, profitable ports and a high proportion of wealthy people, says a representative of JSA Kalitsa, which is a major export agency. The Democratic Republic of Congo is also of interest, but logistics of trade there are a bit difficult and more complicated. Plus there's a bit of a civil war going on. So Russia's supplanting France all over Africa with its quality agricultural products, and really everybody is enjoying them. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and if you want to help me out, please click on the thanks button at the bottom of the screen, and I'll see you all again soon. Thank you.